Oh man, even 40 years later, that is still one of the most scary motherfucking movie monsters ever put in film. I'm just saying. Hello brothers and sisters, my name is Darius and welcome to the review of Alien. So Alien just recently had a 40-year anniversary. 40, Jesus, I'm getting old. And in extension of that occasion, the cinema near me actually had a screening of the original Alien, or just Alien. So I thought to myself, well, now might be a good time to actually review this old movie because it's Alien, so let's just jump into it. Now, before I start, just let me say something. There will be spoilers in this video because it is 40 years old, and if you haven't seen it yet, then a short review will be go fucking see it, man. It's Alien. It's one of the best and most high-regarded horror sci-fi movies ever. And there's a good reason for that, so go see it right now. But in case you have seen it but just want to hear my thoughts about it, well, here we go. So Aliens takes place in the year something distant future something. I can't remember. It's not important. But we are following this spaceship, or this space trucker called the Storm, where they pick up a signal from a distant planet, and the crew then needs to go down and find out if this is an emergency or just what the source of this signal is. Unfortunately, they find some kind of alien life form, and that is the first time in human history we actually have found life in space that is not Earth-based or Terra-based. This alien life form then attaches to one of the crew members, and then they take him back to the spaceship to try and save him, and just to see if they can save him. And then horrible stuff happens, and aliens then, let loose on the spaceship, and the hunt has begun. So what do I like about Alien? Almost everything, I will say. First of all, the way it tells the story. I mean, it's just a masterpiece in its own regard. The way it tells the story is it lets the environment tell the story for you. It takes the time to show you the environment, takes the time to show you the characters, how they react, but without speaking a lot. And let this feed inform you of what is going on and what is the history behind almost everything you see on screen. That mixed in with the fact that almost everything you see on screen is physical. I mean, everything you see on screen is physical. But there's some matte painting and there's some model working, but all the sets are real. They are dirty, they're gritty, and it actually gravitates the movie in reality much more when you can pull off with modern CGI. And I just appreciate the fact that everything on there is gritty. It is almost like a floating factory, because this is a space trucker. They have a huge load of minerals they have been mining, and now this truck needs to carry that load back to Earth. So the spaceship is a space trucker. So of course it makes sense that everything is gritty, is oily, is messy. You almost feel like you can touch everything on set. And then you have the characters in here. The characters is not that complex. I mean, they are simple enough to get the story across and make them divergent from each other. But other than that, you can't really quite remember what the difference is between the characters. However, this is in the movie's advantage because you don't know who is gonna come out of life. There's not really anyone there who seems to have the upper hand on the other characters, and also on the upper hand on the alien. So if you haven't seen this movie before, then you're gonna keep guessing who is actually gonna be the sole survivor, because you're not really sure who is the main character in this movie until, of course, you get to the end of the movie. But if you haven't seen it before, then it is out in the open, and I appreciate that, because when horror movies try to set up a main character, then of course that person is gonna survive to the end. It is no surprise. But when they do it in this way, then the mystery keeps going until the very last death in the movie. Then there is the design of the alien, or the xenomorph. It is so far out there. I mean, it is like nothing we have ever seen of an alien race beforehand, and even since, actually. All the characteristics of this creature, it just screams danger and terror. Anyone who haven't seen any of the Alien movies know when they see an image of this creature that it is frightening, it is dangerous, and you need to get the fuck away from it. Now, of course, it is quite obvious that this is a suit worn by a human being. But since it is so obvious, they used the alien so sparsely, which means that it is more terrifying. You don't know where the alien is. If the characters doesn't know where the alien is, then you, the viewer, doesn't know where the alien is, which makes it more terrifying and frightening and, horror stuff. Which brings me to the pacing, because the pacing is marvelous. The pacing is the same throughout the whole movie. It is a slow burn, but it slowly tightens the tension. It just presents one mystery after another, and then it keeps you guessing what the resolution of this mystery could be until it finally lays it on you. And everything makes sense. Everything is taking its time because these characters, there's no hurry to get down to the planet and find an alien life form, bring it back, and then survive it. They're kind of in a hurry of surviving the fucking thing, but besides that, they're in no hurry to just move the plot forward. It makes it more realistic and more relatable, because we have all been in situations where we just enjoyed the company and just took everything as it came, and this movie does the same. Hell, I even like the fact that this movie is supposed to be in the far future, and all the computers and technologies just seem something right out of the 70s. But in one way, it does make sense, because this is an industrialized spaceship, which means that it's kind of reflect the industrial machinery that we have now here on Earth. Which means if you go to any kind of factory that has automation in any aspect, then it's not going to be flat screens, it's not going to be the most high-res resolution UI you can find. No, it's just going to be simple enough for whoever's going to use it is able to carry out their work. So of course nothing in here is going to be as high-tech as we want it to be. Now I know it's because that we didn't know what the future of computers, anything was going to be in 1979. Hell, computer were barely a thing back then. But I just appreciate this aspect more than I would have if it was more futuristic in modern terms. I also appreciate the fact that it is not as much blood in this movie as I thought it would have been, considering that this is an R-rated movie. But the only really blood scene is the diner scene where the alien bursts out of... I can't remember the character's name, but bursts out of his chest and then, kills him and escapes. That is the most bloody scene in the movie, and it is not even that bloody. They actually had to trim down a lot of the blood, because when they actually recorded the scene, the actress, was actually not Sigourney Weaver, tripped in the blood on the floor, and you actually saw her red rain boots. But anyway, the movie is not as bloody as it could have been, which is appreciated, because then it doesn't take away from the horrific fucking monster that is a xenomorph. And of course, lastly, I have to mention Sigourney Weaver's Ripley, because she's just such a badass, especially considering that there's no way in the movie it shows her to be a badass, a warrior, an Amazon warrior woman. But no, and it also reflects itself in the finale when she gets on the shuttle and have to flush out the xenomorph. One of the most tense fucking scenes in the whole movie, besides, the vent thing, because fuck the vent thing. There's not enough money in the universe that would have made me go into the vent and try to flamethrower the fucking... No. It ain't happening. But anyways, on the shuttle, when Sigourney Weaver or Ripley has to flush out the alien, just when she finally can relax because she has blown up the fucking thing, she sees it right in the fucking face. It's like this close when it starts to move. Just sit your pants, and then Sigourney Weaver or Ripley actually goes into the closet with the spacesuit, and then she has to slowly get into the spacesuit and just harness herself on a chair before trying to blow out the fucking thing. That whole scene. First time I saw this movie, I guess anyone else who sees it for the first time thought the movie was over. The alien's dead. She's now going to go into the chamber thingy where she's gonna sleep. And that will be it. But no, we have one final scene to boot. And what fucking scene. Which means what didn't I like about this movie, because now I've praised it up and down. And, well, it's hard to tell. They do kind of skip over some of the alien aspects of this movie, especially the planet where they're going down and find the eggs. Also, most of the characters is just there to be fodder, and considering there's only 7 characters or people on the spaceship, you kind of just wish that they would use them more until the alien escapes and try to, kill them all. So the fact it doesn't really kind of show enough scenes where they bond together, actually just kind of bigger with each other because they want, or the two mechanics want a bonus after this mission is done. You don't really care for them at all. And also maybe has some more clues to the fact that one of them is an android. I mean, that aspect wasn't handled that well. And even when you know he's an android, you're kind of looking for signs that he is one, but there is none. He acts completely human, and you only notice that there's something off with the way he acts because he has this mission on getting the alien life form, the xenomorph, back to Earth. But that's pretty much it. Other than that, there's no really lead up to the fact that he's an android. And then when you find out he's an android, he's just very quickly used, and that is it. So what was the point of having him as an android? Last but not least, the time frame they actually introduced the alien is almost halfway through the movie. That's just introducing it. It doesn't start killing people until the last quarter of the movie, I think. That is when they start killing off people, and then they have to try to get off the Nostromo, or get that thing off the Nostromo. So considering that this movie is called Alien, there's not really much alien. And I know that they didn't want to show it as much because they want to have the same effect as in Jaws, but you can still have the alien be a present threat throughout the movie without showing the monster. But no, not here. So trying to define this movie as a horror movie, it is not a horror movie until the last third of the movie, which kind of bums me out. And also, this is just a nitpick, but why did the Nostromo have to explode 3 times? I mean, after it exploded the first time, there shouldn't be any material left to continue exploding. Yeah, but that's just a nitpick. So all in all, this movie is absolutely fantastic. It is so far ahead of its time, and it set all the ground rules that future sci-fi movie had to follow. How to establish a spaceship, how to establish a crew, just how do you show realism out, or just real grit in space. And also, you know, not everything needs to be lasers in space. So what you get is you get a dispensable crew that introduces a mother computer on the spaceship that is used like twice, and it's not really mentioned at all afterwards. You will get an extremely interesting, intriguing planet where they find this alien life form, and there's just a few hints of what happens when you get a facehugger on you if you see a giant space jug. I don't know if you see it, it's actually pointed out in the movie that his ribcage was blown outwards from the inside. You will get one of the most, if not the most terrifying movie monsters ever put on screen. You will get an almost perfectly and evenly paced movie experience. And the last third of the movie will probably just scare the fucking pants off you. If this movie didn't scare, then you're just lying to yourself. Or you are not immersing yourself into the movie. That also might be the issue. But all in all, this movie is almost perfect, and Alien is an epic masterpiece. You know, just seeing the movie for the first time on the big screen, 4K resurrected, and just surround sound, it is an experience. You just need to remember that you're not going to the cinema to watch movies, you're going to the cinema to experience movies. And I just managed to experience this one. And if the cinema near you actually shows this movie, go watch it, because you need to treat yourself. So, Alien, have you seen it? What did you think about it? And how do you think it ranked amongst the sci-fi horror movies? And in case you don't think it's the best horror sci-fi movie ever, which one do you think is? Whatever you think, comment below with me your thoughts. And as always, until I see you in the next video, remember to stay awesome. Bye! Xenomorph.